very dangerous thing that you are completely breaking your own codes of behavior and you are supporting a terrorist campaign in Syria to bring down the government of Mr. Assad. And why is that happening? Again, as I said, I would like to just go a little broad-based on this because all these are relating to each other. The Middle East is also an area of great concern to Taiwan. Today you are seeing in the Middle East a Shia-Sunni confrontation, where the Shia and the Sunni are confronting each other, and NATO is supporting the Sunni against the Shia. It is in a sense collective punishment for the Shia because Iran is a Shia country. So because Iran is a Shia country, you punish Shia everywhere. You punish Iran with sanctions, you punish the majority population in Bahrain by supporting the Sunni Sheikh and a handful of Sunnis there, and you give them full support when they are running Bahrain and the Shias are completely marginalized. You support the anti-Assad opposition because Assad is a Shia and you don't want Shia. In Iraq, you put pressure on the majority Shias to give concessions to the Sunni who are in a minority. In Saudi Arabia, the Shia minority has no concessions. It is marginalized. It is treated very, very badly. But you don't say anything to the Saudi regime because after all, they're Shias who are being... So there is a war on the Shia that is taking place in the hands of NATO. And this again is going to have a severe impact, in my view, on NATO's position in the Middle East, in other parts of the world, especially in the Islamic world. It is going to have a very severe... The support for terrorism in Syria, for example, is going to have. So what I want to say is, this is not the same United States in the West as it was 20 years ago. This is not the same Europe as it was 200 years ago. Today you have a Europe and the United States gravely weakened by the geopolitical errors of the 21st century and very importantly by the financial frauds of the 21st century. So their ability to go against Russia, in my view, is very limited. They are balancing on the edge of a cliff. I've talked to a lot of people, and I said I am, as Dr. Chang will tell you, I am very good at giving forecasts. I give very blunt forecasts. And if I look at the record, I'm reasonably happy that I think my forecasts one by one, by sheer accident, seem to be coming true. So I'm saying very, very clearly, I'm giving a kind of forecast, about the situation that this 2008 financial crisis, Europe, you are going to see Italy and Spain are going to go under. The French are going to be virtually bankrupt. The euro is going to collapse. Germany, the banks in Germany are bankrupt. They're going to be declared bankrupt. They will not be able to fund European. All this will happen in the next 18 months. As I said, when I was in Damascus, I told people in Syria, you hang on for another 4 or 5 months, and the Europeans are going to have so many problems, they're not going to bother about you. So you keep fighting for the next 4 months, and the European pressure is going to be almost zero because they're going to be in a life and death struggle with their own economy. So I want to remind you, sir, that Europe is now involved in a life and death struggle with the economy. In my view, death is coming and not life. For several economies, death is on the way. It is not life. So this is the geopolitical situation that is facing. And in this situation, to challenge Russia, I think is a mistake. I firmly believe Russia is still interested, as you correctly said, in becoming a partner of America, of Europe, rather than China. But when you deny them the opportunity, it's a default option. It's like the Burmese regime. They had no choice but to go to China. And so far as Taiwan or Asian countries are concerned, I strongly believe there is value in technological collaboration with Russia. Russian brains are superb. Russian mathematicians are superb. Russian physicists are superb. We have got 2 or 3 Russian physicists working in Manipal, in our physics department. They're brilliant. They come as visiting scholars. They're absolutely brilliant. So, contrary to what the Americans say, I do honestly believe technological linkage with Russia is going to be a very good idea. But my point, sir, is this: all that you read in all these media, all these fora, all these in things about, is giving a view of the West which is not true any longer. The situation is very different from what it is.
So don't worry, Professor. I don't trust everything I read from time to time. So don't worry about that. But I'm very interested in your forecast. You mentioned that the euro is going to collapse in the next 18 months. Can I invite 2 more forecasts? What about China? The economy of China. Could you give us some your forecast? what's going to happen, and also the U.S. economy.
So, coming to the U.S. economy, which is safer for me, because I don't visit the U.S. as often as I visit China. But coming to the U.S. economy, I think the U.S. economy will survive. The reason is America is still an open society. It still encourages immigration into America. It has got extraordinary talent from all over the world in its think tanks. Its technological base, its research base is still outstanding. And it can print its currency and hugely, because the entire world depends on the currency. With the collapse of the euro, the American position has become much stronger. Even though the dollar has become stronger, the American economy has become much stronger. They can spend much more because people do not trust the euro anymore. So long as euro was strong, Americans had a limit. Today that limit is going because there's only the American currency. Otherwise you have to have Japanese yen or Malaysian ringgit, which are very small currencies. You may have to have the RMB, which is again very far into the future. So I am quite bullish about the future of America. I am not bullish about the future of Europe. I am bullish about the future of America. So far as China is concerned, it is my view, and as I said, I speak as an old friend of China. I am an admirer of Chinese people. I have great respect for them, and I would like to say very frankly that I find the Communist Party of China, the people I have dealt with, to be very, very good. They negotiate in a very tough way. They are hard bargainers, but they keep their word. And in my view, they are a very efficient and fundamentally decent people. I don't believe the Communist Party of China is going to be removed from power anytime in the next 30 years at least. I mean, if not beyond that, I don't forecast the Communist Party of China being removed from office by any kind of color revolution or whatever it is. I don't think it's happening. China, I think the Communist Party missed the bus in 2008. In 1998, the Asian financial crisis, 97-98, Zhu Rongji reformed the state-owned enterprises ruthlessly. Many tens of millions of people lost their jobs. Many enterprises were shut down. Many were reformulated. But it was a ruthless and necessary, reorganization of the SOEs. 2008 crisis should have been used by them for a second wave of reform. This, unfortunately, what happened was the second wave of reform would have to hit the princeling community in China. Today, the princeling community in China runs the state-owned enterprises. The SOEs are basically the playground of the princelings of China. And the princelings of China do not want to compete in the open market against private Chinese businessmen. They want a rigged system in which their monopoly continues. They get cheap bank loans. They get government support. They get access to various facilities. They get diplomatic access outside. And as a result, the strong 2008 reform should have been encouraging privatization in China. Now the princelings argued that if you're a private Chinese businessman outside the Communist Party, you're not a patriotic Chinese. I think that is not correct. I've seen many private Chinese businessmen. They are not bothered about changing the Communist Party. They like the Communist Party. They would like it to continue even if they're not communist, and they are very patriotic Chinese. So I believe China has missed the bus on reform in 2008. The question is, it's not too late. The enormous potential of China is its private entrepreneurial class. The private entrepreneurial class of the Chinese is an amazing resource. But this means that you have to overcome the support, if I may say so, the monopoly lock of the princelings. So I am going to wait and see the next standing committee. If the next standing committee is 5 princelings or 6 princelings, I think my forecast is going to be negative for China. If it is only 3 princelings, my forecast is going to be optimistic for China, because that means that they are likely to go in for thoroughgoing economic reform. If they go in for economic reform, I think China can continue on a growth path which is maybe not 12% down soon, but definitely 8 or 9%. And in my view, China needs about 7 to 8% for stability. It can easily reach it if it has second wave of reform. So I'll answer your question, sir, after I see the new standing committee. As of now, I am hopeful that the new standing committee will be about at least 5 people who are not princelings. I think the battle that is going on with Bo Xilai, etc., it's a battle between princelings and others. Hu Jintao are others. Princelings are, the old Jiang faction and various other people. this battle is going on. My own view is that the non-princeling faction is likely to succeed. But we will know that only when the standing committee is appointed. So, and the new national NPC and all is formed. So till that time I cannot give an answer to your question. But if princelings are marginalized, I think China has got a bright future. If princelings dominate the next structure, I think China is going to head for very rough weather.
Professor, I have a question about the role of Russia in Europe. That's a few weeks ago, our department watched a film about Russia for the last 20 years, and I learned that Russia, they built a lot of pipes for selling the petroleum and the natural gas to the European countries, and nowadays the European countries, they depends on more supply of petroleum from Russia. Do you think this kind of a situation will help the Russia play a more important role in Europe? Thank you.
I said, I think France and Germany will see to it that does not happen. They will happily buy Russian gas and Russian oil, and they'll buy it at whatever price they get. But I don't think that France and Germany would allow Russia to be integrated into Europe or to take an active part in the Council of Europe. So far as oil is concerned, it's a very, very